Get in Natasha Shankar's views on the markets right now. Natasha, what have you made of the kind of sell-off that we've seen so far? Would you be a bit circumspect on the markets, believe that, this sort of opens the doors to a further accelerated sell-off, or would you believe that it's a good buying opportunity?
So I think if you look at the markets right now, there are two ways to look at it. One is on the broader indices, and over there we feel that there would be volatile times ahead, which means that we could see some correction as further news unfolds, especially on the PSU banking side, and at the same time investors would be booking profits at higher levels. Given that the elections are due, towards the end of the year in some of the states, and the general elections are due next year. But having said that, we do think that stock-specific movement should continue. So what we have been recommending to investors is that they move their focus from the macro to the micro. That is, they start focusing on individual stocks, using these dips to accumulate these good quality stocks, because that would lead to long-term wealth creation. And we've already seen that the markets have run up significantly in the past, and that's a movement which we think would continue going forward as well.
Okay, that's the view coming in on the overall fundamental get-up right now. But we've got women sending us all of their queries, so let's get across to our okay, before we do that, let's get in Kunal's top recommendations. Kunal, let's get going with your top picks.
Well, bias is still on the downside, on the negative side for the index, because we are trading below some key support levels. So in that regards, I'm initiating one buy and two sells. The first buy call is a buy call on HCL Tech. I think I discussed this stock even yesterday as well. It's an inverse head and shoulder pattern, a good a contra bet to the market volatility, the IT space overall. HCL Tech is a buy with a target of 1000, stop loss at 940. There are two sells. The first one is a sell on Jet Airways. Now I think after yesterday's break below the 100-day moving average, I think the stock has seen some accelerated sell-off today. It's completing a bearish kind of a pattern on daily and weekly charts, and I think that could have some bearish connotations on on a positional basis as well. So Jet Airways is a positional sell, targets of 636 at least, stop loss at 700. And Yes Bank, which you discussed earlier, I think that's also a sell, because the stock has now clearly shown signs of a break below its key support levels, trading below its long-term averages now. I believe Yes Bank could be sold into with a short-term target of 282, stop loss at 305.
Okay, a buy on HCL Tech and a sell on Jet Airways as well as Yes Bank. But as promised in this very special edition of Buy Now Sell Now Women's Day, we have been getting a whole host of queries from all the lovely ladies out there. So let's go across to our very first query. It's coming in from Sunaina Shetty, and she has questions on what exactly should she do with some of the stocks that she's holding in her portfolio, as well as how she can go ahead with her investment journey.
Hi, my name is Sunaina Shetty, and I'm an electronics engineer and just completed my postgraduate diploma in Organization Development and Change from Tata Institute of Social Sciences. I have invested in the past in some ULIPs and mutual funds, and I had sold them all off after the lock-in period. After losing money on one such fund, I've been very cautious of investing in funds. I have recently started investing, and two of the shares that I have bought, one is Tata Motors DMR, and another one is, can't remember, Hindustan Unilever. I wanted to know what are the futures of these two. And I have another question. What should a person be aware of while doing day trading? What sort of stocks should they invest in? And because I'm a very cautious buyer of stocks, I'd like to know what sectors or what industries I should invest on for long-term investments. Those are my three questions.
All right, 3 questions sent in by Sumina. Let's attempt answering each one of them. Firstly, of course, she's invested in stocks. It's not like she's a novice in the stock market. She had, in fact, recently invested in Tata Motors DVR as well as HUL. She wants to know if these are good stocks. And then she has 2 questions. One is on trading. I'm sure this is a question that many women out there want to know. How safe is trading at this point of time? You know, because trading in general, given the short-term nature and given the volatility we see in markets, it is in general a more riskier way to invest in the markets compared to, you know, keeping your market safely as a coffee can portfolio. And then, of course, she also wants some long-term wealth creation ideas. So, Natasha, over to you then. Help out Sumina with her questions.
So I think if you're looking at Tata Motors DVR, that's the first question that she asked. We would recommend that investment be done on Tata Motors instead of DVR. So that's a switch we would recommend to her. On HUL, although the fundamentals are quite attractive and you know, the rural story is going to play out for them, they've already taken a price cut, and that is helping to drive volumes as well. But in terms of valuations, that is already priced in. So we would recommend HUL be accumulated on dips, and it can definitely be held on for a long term. Suggestions as far as trading is concerned, of course, it's a risk, and that is something which she has to see whether she is able to take on the risk, given the fact that she's just stated that she's a cautious buyer of stocks. We would definitely not recommend day trading. Day trading is essentially meant for people who are willing to take the risk that it could you know, go either ways, that you could end up with a loss as well. Having said that, a suggestion that we give to day traders and people who are interested in trading, intraday trading, is that they take up the concept of a moving stop loss. That is, whenever the stocks, you know, stock starts moving up, you start revising your stop loss upwards, so that you make sure that you come out on the positive. And the moment the stop loss gets hit, you get out of the stock. So that's a recommendation that we do give to them. The third question was which are the sectors that we're looking at in terms of long-term wealth creation. So if you're looking at India's fundamentals, they are unbroken despite the fall that we've seen in the stock markets. That is largely because the fundamentals and valuations are right now not in sync. When that syncs, you will start seeing the markets moving upwards as well. So the fundamental story is quite intact. There is a housing shortage, and there are companies which are working towards it. Infrastructure is the need of the hour, and a lot of work is being seen over there. In fact, a lot of traction is being seen towards order in terms of order awarding as well as order build up. So that is a healthy sector to invest in. And finally, rural story cannot be ruled out. It is very real. We have seen the improvement on the rural wages side, albeit in a very small manner, but it has started to reflect. And with all the moves that were announced during the budget this year as well as in the previous years, there is a larger sum available on the rural side, which would help to drive consumption. So consumption would be the third theme that we are quite positive on.
So, Natasha, thanks very much for answering that query, giving us a sense of what to do in terms of individual themes to look at, your query on day trading, as well as giving you a sense as to how to approach a Tata Motors DVR and HUL. I hope, Sumina, we were able to help you out with your question, and thank you so much for sending it in. Well, now, a very special query. This is coming in from Samina's daughter, that's Arya Shetty. So I guess it's never too early to start when it comes to taking control of your money. Let's hear Arya out.
Hello, my name is Arya Shetty, and I'm 8.5 years old. I mean 8 years old. And I'm really excited today because my house is coming on TV. And I am really proud of my house, my parents, and all my family members. And I would like to say that each and every member is helping me to do something or the other. Like my mom is helping me to go ahead, and my grandparents are helping me to do something or the other, or trying to make me learn good in studies, and even my nana nani. So I would like to ask a question that where should I invest my money which my grandparents and Nana Nani gave for my birthday?
Okay, well, yes, children, of course, are the biggest source of money because grandparents, parents, relatives, they tend to give a lot of money to children. So, yes, little Arya here, who's just 8 years old, wants to know now what should she do with her money. Of course, she's starting off very young, and that's always a good habit, inculcating the habits of savings, of investment from children at a very young age. And Arya, I must say, you're off to a very good start. Natasha, for younger women out there, you know, who do have all this money that has been accumulated from their birthdays, from special occasions, it does tend to form a very, you know, big corpus. How should this money that, you know, children like Arya who receive them from relatives, how they can invest this money to sort of form a good amount of investment corpus later on in their later years?
I think especially for Arya, it would be better if she gives it to her mom so that she can put it in an FD in her name. That would be something which would be more prudent. But the general advice even to younger investors is that first and foremost, it is important to start saving even when you're young, because you start growing older and you suddenly realize that you need money for various things in life, including studies, including your trips and so on and so forth. So it's very important to start out early. Yes, you have to see how much of risk can you take. Are you looking at capital protection? That is, you're not really looking at any erosion of your capital. What is the kind of risk that you can take? Obviously, the younger that you are, you do have the capability and the ability to take risk, but whether you want to take it or not is something which needs to be seen, and which is a very personal thing for everyone, but they have to decide accordingly. Mutual funds, fixed deposits, they are a good investment area to start out with, and eventually once an understanding gets built up, you could always look at slightly better, riskier asset classes like direct equities as well. This would be our suggestion.
All right, I hope you've taken note of that advice coming in. So, little Arya, perhaps it would be prudent right now for you to hand over that responsibility to your mum. She has been quite an ardent investor in the stock markets and mutual funds, ULIPs as well. So, that's the advice to take on. But some pearls of wisdom as well coming in for first-time investors from Natasha. Let's tell you what, let's take a quick break right here on the show. We've got some more viewer queries coming up from all of the ladies out there, so we'll be taking them on in just a bit.